Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. How is everyone this lovely Sunday, the 10th of September, 2023? Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. And what is going on? Not much. Today's React Day, meaning today is the one day of the week that I take time out from all of my busy gaming schedule to do a bunch of React-style content over on my sister channel, DSP Reacts, which you can find at youtube.com/@DSPReact. In addition, we got just a tiny bit of news today, a little bit of a follow-up story to something that's been going on now for several months, a story that I've been interested in talking about and following up on because it was something that I was involved with, and so it'll be interesting to kind of, touch upon it again this morning with some interesting news that may or may not be interesting to you depending on if you were a holdout. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But anyway, how y'all doing today? It's the middle of the weekend, and here in Washington State, it's been very weird. And what I mean by that is, it seemed like we were approaching the end of the summer. In fact, officially here in the United States, we only have 11 days left of summer until it's considered autumn or the fall season. And our temperatures were dipping. We went from 80s and 90 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to like 60s and low 70s for about a week. We had a lot of rain, and it really felt like the seasons were changing. So quite a lot of people were in the mood for fall, and you go out there and you can see all the stores have the pumpkin spice and the selling scarecrows and pumpkins and getting ready for Halloween. And then all of a sudden this weekend it's hot again. It's in the 80s. It was in the 80s yesterday, and now apparently again today it's supposed to hit 80 again, and it's like, what happened? Right? Like what is going on? And supposedly coming up this week we're supposed to have 70 degree weather again. But taking a look at the the entire weekend coming up, it actually looks to me like we may have 80 degree weather again next weekend. And it's like, what in the fuck is going on? Right? Like, what on earth is happening? Okay? And it's pretty ridiculous, quite frankly. I want it to be cool, because when it's cool, here's what happens. I can take the air conditioner out of the window, okay? I can have cool air coming in here for the fall. It feels more comfortable, right? And I actually had told you guys that I was considering, for the fall, actually kind of changing up my wardrobe a little bit differently. Over the summer, I did so, right? Over the summer, I actually bought a bunch of button-down shirts that look kind of nice. They're a little different than these normal gaming t-shirts that I would wear. What I've been doing is kind of alternating between. But you guys really seem to like the nice button-down shirts that I wore during the summer, right? And I'm still going to wear them for another couple of weeks at least. But I was hoping that the fall was coming. And I actually have, other clothes that I wear in real life, not necessarily on stream. Nice long-sleeve button-down shirts and stuff like that I figured, hey, for the fall gaming season, I can wear it. If it's cooler, it makes sense. It'll be nice and be comfortable. But right now, I was like, oh, maybe in the next couple of weeks. It doesn't look like it. If it's going to stay in the 80 degrees, I got to keep all the air conditioners in and everything, which really sucks. We did actually get the new air filters yesterday for our for our furnace system. And during the summer months, we still have the vents running just for the sake of purifying the air. They don't cool the house, but by circulating the air in the house through our filter system, it cleans it of all these particulates in the air. And we just bought super duper good filters for soot, for pollen, for bacteria, for everything. Like, they are incredibly good. And we're like, this will be good. It'll actually, clean out all the air, but we need to get the air conditioners out of the window. So if we're going to start running this, we have a closed circuit air system and can't do it. Man, I want it out of here. I want it the heck out of here. We're already in the fall gaming season. We've already got Armored Core 6 and Starfield. We've got Mortal Kombat 1 coming out Friday. We've got, well, Thursday technically. We got Lies of P right after that. So we got all these games coming out, in tall order right back to back. We're in the midst of this busy time of the year, but we're still stuck with crappy summer weather. I want it out of here right now. I want to toss this summer weather out the window. It even affects my throat, like you can hear. I want to have, an opportunity to have cooler, cleaner air, and I can't have that when the summer is lingering. So hopefully sooner rather than later. I don't know. They're saying, like I said, today's supposed to be hot. Then it cools down for like 5 days. Then it's supposed to be hot again next weekend. Like, come on, man. Hopefully not. If it cools down, as soon as it does, air conditioners out of the window, cooler air, fall air in here. I can't wait for that, and I hope it happens. Anyway, not to say that necessarily affects all of you out there, but that's kind of what we're going through here in Washington State right now. So what's going on, man? Hopefully you're all doing well. We don't have a lot to chat about today. We do have one news story I want to follow up on. I guess what we can do is we'll start talking about yesterday's streams and a little bit of a recap of the status of how everything is going, because it actually looks like we're going to finish a playthrough soon, which is great. It'll give us more opportunity to focus on the new stuff coming up this week, okay? So let's chat. So yesterday was RPG Day. Double RPGs, although completely different styles of RPGs. On the first stream, we had Starfield continuing on, and on the late stream, we had Chrono Trigger. So on the first stream with Starfield continuing on, we did an interesting mix of stuff. First off, advanced the plot, which we hadn't done in a while. We were doing some side content stuff. So we actually advanced the plot by going back to the original planet where the whole game started, and there was a big follow-up like story mission there. We had to stage a rescue that kind of took us across a few different planets and had to storm a base to rescue someone. I actually had a really good opportunity to use my speech check and upgrade my persuasion ability, which was great. It actually worked out really well. But we did have some combat too, and by the end of it, I had already recruited 2 new people to be new followers. Not just people who are crew for my ship, but actual followers who follow you around and assist you in combat and the like. So that was pretty cool. In addition to that, you know, we traveled the galaxy and did various different quests. One place that it took us was a place called Aquila City, I think it's called, which is a lot like the old Wild West. You walk into town and immediately there's a bunch of bank robbers holding up a bank. And the sheriff of the town, who's called a ranger, needs your help. And it was up to you to try to figure out how are you going to basically disarm these hombres and bring them to justice. And there was various different ways that you could do it. It was kind of a unique quest, and when we finished with that, then it led into basically a new faction, the Freestar Collective. And that was pretty fun. So yesterday I had a lot of fun actually playing Starfield, because we focused mostly on the things that Bethesda does well. Open world exploration, narrative structure that kind of branches out, discovering new quests and new things as you explore this cool open world, dialogue trees and choices, some combat. It was good. It was the things they excel at. We kind of stayed away. Excuse me, I got the nasal drip today because of my allergies. We kind of stayed away from all of the very annoying things that I did not like about the game so far. You know, there was no shipbuilding. There was only one piece of aerial combat, and it actually went by really fast. Didn't, you know, fumble around the cumbersome travel system. It was just pretty fun. And I was like, oh, all right, so this is kind of clicking now, finally. And, you know, we're a good tear into the game at this point. You know, we're around 17, 18 hours in. So you would think by now, if it was going to click, it definitely should have clicked. And the good news is it is clicking. It is getting better, in my opinion. And I am enjoying it for what it is. Again, if you're a fan of this style of Bethesda game, you're going to absolutely love this game. If you're not, and you were looking for something amazing and groundbreaking and really earth-shatteringly different variety, you're not going to get that here. It actually doesn't have any of that, really. It just feels like Fallout 5, only instead of in a post-apocalyptic environment, you're in space. But I had a good time with it. So, overall yesterday, 3 hours of Starfield, pretty good progress. The one thing that I'm finding the most frustrating now with the game is the research and the crafting system. And what I mean by that is, this game right off the bat throws you into, hey, if you want to make food items, if you want to upgrade your weapons, if you want to craft healing items, you need to go through these big elaborate research trees by gathering all these resources and doing this research project and that research project. And then you got to go manually to a bench and craft these things. And the more you craft, the more you level it up, then you can level up the ability again. You get to the next tier. So as you're doing it, it all seems very complex, right? Well, I'm 17, 18 hours into the game, okay? And I still really don't feel like I've done anything significant in any of these trees. And the weird thing is, my starter class, one of the 3 abilities I had was to have a head start on research. So I was already like level 1 in research while everyone else starts off at level 0. Yet somehow I still can't craft anything. I'm gathering all of these resources throughout the game. Minerals, you know, medical crafting items, food ingredients, and you go to make something, you can't make anything. Everything you've already made, everything that was available, nothing new is there. So what am I supposed to be doing? You know? And it seems like the way they made the game, sadly, is that you can only have a very specific build per playthrough. So maybe if I had focused solely on being a crafter and all of my upgrade abilities, instead of going into speech, lockpicking, piloting the ship, and wellness, instead of putting any in there, if I put all the points into the research tree, maybe I'd be researching and crafting tons of good stuff by now, right? But admittedly, for someone who's going to be playing this game once, maybe, you know, years down the line, I'll go back and do a second playthrough, right? I kind of want to explore things in all the different trees. I kind of want to be kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. Why is it that I feel like I'm locked out of this research and crafting tree because I didn't put everything into it? I don't like that. And it really feels like a hassle when a lot of the game is based on looting, just like Elder Scrolls, just like Fallout. A lot of the gameplay elements are based on looting all these items in the environment. And you say, oh, here's a critical resource I'll need, and this is, you know, this and this and this. And then you never use them. You can't use them. They're taking up your inventory space. They're encumbering you with weight. And you realize it's not really useful. So what exactly was the point of going around gathering all these items, right? So that really is what's starting to frustrate me now about the game. But again, there's plenty about the game to enjoy at this point. It's still kind of a mixed bag for me. Because a lot of people are saying, well, how would you score it? I'm not going to score the game yet. This is a game that's going to be a very lengthy playthrough. You can tell where the game is going with the amount of content and everything. It's going to take a while to get through it. I got people, no exaggeration, in the chat right now. I've got people saying, well, you don't even understand because you didn't get far enough into the story. When you get far enough into the story, the whole game changes and opens up and gets different, so you don't even know yet. And I'm like, 17 hours in and I don't even know yet, huh? I mean, that's pretty interesting. So, anyway. We will continue on with this more tonight. We'll talk about that in a second. But, you know, I am having fun. Don't get me wrong. I am having fun with this content. So, let us continue. Last night, on the late stream, it was Chrono Trigger time. Now, admittedly, if I wanted to beat Chrono Trigger, I could have beaten it last night. Because all that's left in the main game is the final major dungeon called the Black Omen, and then basically the final boss fight, which is kind of a marathon. It could take upwards of a half an hour to get through that and the ending of the game and everything. So, you know, I definitely could have beaten the game last night. However, because I am playing the Steam version of Chrono Trigger, this is not just base Chrono Trigger from the Super Nintendo era. This is a special edition where they improved things, like made it a widescreen presentation. They improved the energy bars, and they also improved the music. But another thing they did is they included all the extra content that was in the Nintendo DS version of the game. For those who don't know, Chrono Trigger was ported to the Nintendo DS back in the 2000s, and they added in some additional kind of bonus dungeon content. So that's what we're doing. It's called the Lost Sanctum. The good news is you get some pretty good items for doing it. The bad news is it is a huge grind because this Lost Sanctum is 2 different time periods, but it's the same kind of caves and dungeons and things. And there is a ridiculous amount of backtracking required. Just to give you an example. You got to go to one time period, get through a dungeon. At the end of the dungeon, there's an item you grab. Then you have to go to a cave and put the item in the cave. Then you have to go to a different time period, go through another dungeon to get an item to access that cave in the future. Then you got to go back in time to the other cave and grab the and get access to it, grab the item, take it back to the past, put 2 of them next to each other. The 2 of them fuse to become a super item. You give the item to someone else. That person is so happy that then they give you another item that's a reward. But that leads to the next branch where you get items so that a carpenter can actually build something in the environment so that you can access another area. And then you see what I'm saying? Like the whole thing is just like cascading domino effect. And if you don't know the exact order of how to do everything, you end up walking in circles. You end up re-going through the same areas over and over with the same respawning enemies. It's a big time sink. You know, nothing in Chrono Trigger has taken me more than, say, 45 minutes to do to this point. last night we were in this Lost Sanctum area for 2 hours, and I didn't beat it yet. Okay? Good news is we made great progress. And for what I'm to understand, we're very near the end of it. Like, we're actually near the final challenge of it, which probably would take maybe about another half an hour. However, I'm kind of confused as to how to do it. Like, there's 2 areas left to go to, and I don't know how to access them. So, what I'm hoping is that when we play it again on Tuesday night, either I'll have to look it up or someone, hopefully in the chat, will have, you know, help me to guide me through to finish it up, the Lost Sanctum that is, and then we just beat the game, you know, because I think it is time to finish it off. We've been playing it now for over 20 hours. It'd be great to finish off the playthrough because we got Mortal Kombat 1 coming out next week, and then we got Lies of P coming out. So with those other games, it's kind of time to move on to the other new ones and not have these lingering ones from the summertime, you know. So we'll see, but maybe we'll beat it Tuesday night. It'd be great if we did. But I had fun. We had a good time together, good interaction, and, you know, hanging out and chilling and everything. And I will say this. I appealed to you guys back on Wednesday night, and I talked about it again on the podcast on Friday morning, that last week, although things had gone very well with super chats and memberships, that things had dramatically slowed down with tips, and I was a little nervous because it was a whole week that was like that. This week has been completely the opposite. This week, you guys have been very generous, all right? So far, you know, I have 0 complaints. It's been a really good week. And I just want to say thank you for that. Like, basically bouncing back from a week that was really slow and coming to a week that's really good is a good feeling, obviously. It makes me feel more relaxed and calm and not having to worry too much about it. Of course, that being said, today's React Day, and we'll talk about that in a second, because typically React Days haven't been doing so well, which kind of makes the future of the React channel a little uncertain. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Don't worry, we won't harp on it, but I should bring it up since today is React Day, okay? So, all that being said, yesterday was a great day. It was chill RPG fun all day long. It worked out well. We had progress, chill times, good support. Everything was great. So, no complaints here. Great day yesterday, okay? Let's now go through the schedule for the rest of the week. Today, indeed, is React Day. So what that means is that we relax here on the podcast, but then after this podcast ends, we head over to DSP Reacts. If you're here live on the stream, you'll actually see, you know, the pop-up on the screen that'll say, hey, everyone, we're all going over to DSP Reacts. Click here to head over there. And so, today is a little show that I like to call DSP versus the Internet. It's a React show we do once a week on Sundays, where channel members over on my sister channel nominate clips for me to watch. And the clips could be about anything. They could be about gaming. They could be about current events. They could be about science. They could be documentary style. It could be comedy skits. You know, it could be anything. And we see wide variety of stuff every week on this show. It's really good to see the amount of variety that we actually see on the show, because it keeps it going, keeps it fresh. And the fact that we have a good amount of members on that channel nominating, and the fact that it is actually a random select playlist. Like, we have people nominating. I think this week we had, like no exaggeration, like 60, 70 nominations, but it's a random select playlist. So we never know what we're going to watch, right? We have no clue what's coming up or what we're going to watch together. And that actually adds to the appeal of the show, I feel, okay? So that's going to happen right after this stream over on my YouTube channel, DSP Reacts. It's at youtube.com/@DSP Reacts if you haven't checked it out yet. I strongly urge you to check it out, and if you're interested in being a part of the fun, first of all, subscribe to the channel, because you need to subscribe to even talk in the chat, but also consider becoming a member. It is channel members who nominate all the clips for that show every week, and it's channel members that make that channel viable. All right, so now time to get into this little spiel, so everyone please be patient while I get through this. So, the React channel almost exclusively relies on memberships and stream contributions to be profitable. Okay? On YouTube, there is a thing where a lot of React content either gets demonetized or claimed. Okay? No exaggeration. Every week I do this show. It's about 6 videos I put out. Usually, at least half of the videos get claimed or demonetized. Last week, for some perspective here, out of the 6 videos I uploaded, 5 of them were not able to be monetized. 5. So that means I make pretty much nothing by uploading videos to that channel. 0. Okay? So you enjoy the free content, go right ahead. I hope you do. But I don't get anything out of that. Okay? Where I get something out of is people who become channel members so they can nominate clips for that show, and people who actually contribute during those live streams, okay? Particularly if you contribute now during this podcast, it counts towards my first stream over there, you see? Or during that live stream over there on the channel when it's live, if you contribute then. So how do you contribute? What I'm talking about is super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, and tips. Those are the ways to support DSP React. Sadly, ad revenue is non-existent. Even if you're on YouTube Premium and you're, oh, I'm going to watch all the content on DSP Reacts, I'm not going to get anything out of it. Most of those videos are demonetized or claimed by somebody else because of the content we're watching, so I don't get anything from views. It comes from other sources, okay? Now, this year, the channel has done decently. It's not an amazing amount of income I get from it, but it's a good amount to supplement the amount of work I put into it. We have done special events this year that actually kind of picked the channel up. For example, recently we did the Machinima React event. We did the anniversary, 15-year anniversary React event. Earlier this year, I did the Wings of Redemption documentary. I did the Pro Jared documentary. We actually reacted to the Internet Historian YouTube channel. All of those events bolstered that channel, all right? However, this particular month, we decided I will not be doing any special events. We decided to just focus on the games and the gameplay because there's a lot of new games this month. So I'm okay with that, but that means the channel will slow down with limited content. Now, next month, I'm actually planning on doing something special for Halloween month, where what I'd like to do is review one horror movie a week. All right, so I'm going to have 4 special reviews over there. There'll be a little bit of extra content for the channel, which will be nice. What horror movies? I'm not sure yet, but I'm leaning towards a couple different ones. I talked about possibly the movie Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining. I've never seen it, and I love The Shining, so you would think that the sequel is probably pretty good, and I know it came out years ago, and I missed it. So I'm considering that. I'm also considering some of the newer Halloween movies, remember? If you remember, Halloween had a trilogy of movies that came out over the last, like, 5 years. I didn't see them. All right, apparently these are supposed to be the ending to the entire Halloween franchise, to actually put the story to bed and kind of retire the franchise. And a lot of people like them, a lot of people don't. It's kind of polarizing these movies. So I'm considering maybe watching those, right? So that's just some suggestions. What I would like is your suggestions. What kind of horror movies would you like to watch me, would you like to see me watch and review over the course of October? Let me know. I need feedback on this if you have ideas, okay? Anyway, so I'm thinking of having some awesome extra content over there. Also, I'm considering doing a tier maker, all right, that will rank horror movie franchises against each other. So, for example, what's better? The Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Child's Play, right? All these horror movie franchises. The Exorcist, we could rate them all against each other. That would be pretty cool, I think, for a Halloween event, to do a special Halloween tier maker that we could do one random night to break up my content, okay? So, I'm already kind of planning some extra content for the channel for October. But this month, it's going to just be basically the React show once a week. So, why am I telling you all this? Well, I would appreciate it if you've liked the React content over the course of this year, if you could support it. What that means is this stream I'm doing right now, that's going to lead into the React stream, please support this stream. This stream once a week is the only real income I'm getting towards that channel. So, if you watch the React content, if you support it with, you know, memberships, gifted memberships, or maybe a super chat during it, or you send a tip during it, that will help. Any contributions I get right now, like tips, carry over to the React stream, okay? So please consider supporting the React content today, since that's what we're doing, okay? So anyway, once this stream is done, we'll head over there together. We'll have a fun React stream. Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, we swing back here to DSPGaming for 2 more hours of Starfield, which I'm excited for. Like I said, we're actually in the Freestar Collective plotline right now, which we might just continue on with at this point. I'm having a good time with it, so we'll see where it leads. But I'm having a good time with this, and I hope that you guys will join me tonight for that. Okay. Then on Monday, tomorrow, we go back to Action Day. The first stream will be Armored Core 6, and the late stream will be Street Fighter 6. Now, in the Armored Core 6 stream, we have already beaten all of the arena fights. the only thing left to do are story missions. So that's what we're going to do. And, you know, we're curious how much further we have to go, because apparently people were saying the game only has 5 chapters, and we're like 3 or 4 missions into chapter 4 already. So I actually wonder how close we are to beating the game. I don't know, but I would hope that we get good progress tomorrow. Some people are actually saying there's another difficulty check in the game around the boss of chapter 4, that the final boss of chapter 4 is one of the hardest things in the game. Okay. Honestly, I haven't had much of a challenge since Baltius, so I guess we'll see what happens, okay? Excuse me. Okay. And, so we'll see how it goes, and then tomorrow night, Street Fighter 6, based on the positive feedback, alright, that I have received, I'm going to play with Lily again tomorrow night. You know, I played with Lily on Friday night. We did some casual matches. We did my ranked placements, and I got right into Diamond. And then within an hour of playing with her, I hit Diamond 2. And people were like, this is good. Keep going. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. We're going to continue with Lily and Diamond and see how I do. I may hit a wall. I may not. Obviously, I'm hoping I don't. I'm hoping that we continue with great progress. We'll find out tomorrow. But Lily continues in ranked tomorrow night. Okay? Then on Tuesday, it'll be Starfield on the daytime stream, and it'll be the probable conclusion of Chrono Trigger on the late stream, because it really depends on how long it takes me to beat this Lost Sanctum, and then we're basically going to do Black Omen and the end of the game. So if Lost Sanctum only takes like 20 minutes, then great. But if Lost Sanctum takes an hour and a half, then we're probably not beating it on Tuesday night. I guess we'll see. Then on Wednesday, I'm leaving Wednesday completely open. Okay? On Wednesday, if we want to do Armored Core and maybe even potentially beat it, because I don't know how much is left, we'll do that. Or maybe you guys will want more Starfield on Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm really sorry. My allergies are really acting up today. My post-nasal drip is destroying me. It's in my throat. It's in my nose. It's really pissing me off. I'm actually debating if I should go downstairs and take an allergy pill at this point. Because it wasn't this bad. All of a sudden, it's like picking up. I'm like, why is it picking up? Again, it's because the fucking heat again. It's outside. Now there's pollen again. It's like, what is going on? You know, we think it's fall and everything's getting better, and then the temperature changes, and then it hits me again. It's like, oh, come on with this shit, you know? It's really annoying. Anyway, so Wednesday is open. Could be more Armored Core, and it could be more Starfield, depending on whatever you want. Okay? And then Wednesday night, could do Street Fighter. We could do something else. Maybe we take a break from Street Fighter and we do like Armored Core on the first stream, Starfield on the late stream. I'm down for whatever on Wednesday. I'm going to leave it open, and I'm sure we'll talk about it depending on how things go this week and try to figure out what we want to do. But if it looks like we're close, for example, if we're really close to beating Chrono Trigger or really close to beating Armored Core, maybe it makes sense to play more of that. Try to finish up any games that are from the summertime before we get into more new games that are starting this Friday. Okay? Because this Friday, it is the premiere of Mortal Kombat 1 in my content. I'm getting it early. I'm going to pay that over, I think it's like $99.99 plus tax. So I'm going to play over $100 to get Mortal Kombat 1 early. And we're going to start with the story mode on Friday, which I'm excited for. The story mode is one of the best parts of the Mortal Kombat series. I'm excited to see how this story gets rebooted with Liu Kang now as kind of the Elder God. and go from there. So that's going to be Friday, starting with Mortal Kombat 1. And then what will happen is Mortal Kombat 1 will get a major focus this week. My goal is to beat the Mortal Kombat 1 story by the end of next week while we balance everything else. So probably we'll have Starfield, and if we're still playing it, Armored Core balanced on the late streams. Will there be Street Fighter 6 next week? I'll be honest with you, probably not. Considering the fact that we're starting up a brand new fighting game, it probably doesn't make sense to be playing Street Fighter that week, right? Now, by the end of the month, there's a new character, Aki, being released in Street Fighter 6. I think that's the 27th. And yes, I will be playing with the new character, Aki, you know, at that time to try her out and see if she's any good and if I like the play style or whatever. So yes, that is coming up this month. So there will be Street Fighter content this month. It's just that it might have to go on hiatus for about a week for us to focus on the launch of Mortal Kombat. Okay? Okay. So there you go. This hair will not stop. I've tried a million times to get this hair to stay up, and it won't. Look, it will not stay up. It wants to be a Superman curl on my head coming down so I look like Clark Kent or Superman. Here we go. All right. Now I'm ready for the stream. Now we're good. The piece of hair is really bothering me. Okay, anyway. This is the price I pay for having luscious locks at the age of 41, right? Anyway, all right. So that's what's coming up this month. That's really all I have to talk about in regards to the schedule and all of that. You know, what we'll do is let's do a brief segment of game news, and then we'll do a little bit of shout outs, and then we'll probably get to Q&A and the like for today. Good news is we don't have a lot of game news today. Okay, so very little very little going on in that regard. What do you guys think? You think I should go take an allergy pill? It's really bothering me. All right, I'm gonna take like a minute break to go run and pump an allergy pill. I'll be right back. Okay, I've taken an allergy medication pill. Now you might say, well, I don't get it, Phil. If you have allergy problems, why don't you just take one every day? I've always been the kind of person that my philosophy is thus. If you don't take medication all the time, over-the-counter medication, that is. I'm not talking about like prescription meds you need, okay? I'm talking about, you know, over-the-counter remedies and stuff like that. If you only take it when you absolutely need it most, then it will be massively effective. If you're someone who ends up taking this kind of stuff every day, it massively loses its effectiveness. You know, there's people who I know, oh, every day I wake up with a headache, I pop Tylenol. What? No, you should never be doing that. That's not good. Number one, it loses its effectiveness greatly. Number two, your body becomes dependent on it because you're pumping a substance into your body every day. And number three, that's not good for you. You're not supposed to have NSAIDs or whatever they're said in your body every day. That's not good for you at all, actually. You know, same thing with people who like every day I wake up and I have indigestion, so I pump a bunch of Tums. No, that's bad. You're going to end up getting, what is it? Is it kidney stones or bladder stones? Bladder stones, right? Like you'll get those because you're going to have a calcium buildup because you're taking Tums every day. You're not supposed to do that. You're only supposed to be taking medication at a time when you're at your worst and you absolutely need it to help you. You know, like today. Yeah, today's pretty bad right now. My throat is all gunked up and swollen. I got post-nasal drip going down because of the stupid allergies. So today is the day I need this pill. So I just took it, and hopefully within the next half hour or so it'll kick in. I'll start to feel better. You know, it really sucks right now. Again, we're in this in-between time for weather. I can't take the air conditioner out of the window and get fresh air like I need. But at the same time, you know, the air conditioner's not going on constantly either. So it's kind of like this weird in-between stuffiness, right? Anyway, so that's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Hold on one second. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. It is time for DSP News. Yes. Fresh off the presses, my newsroom has been hard at work scouring the internet looking for gaming news to talk about. Oh, yes. And they came up with some good stuff. All right. Actually, I'm serious. We only have one news story today. Okay? DSP has been cited with a harem of women who are stalking him throughout supermarkets. Wait, what? No! That's detractor news. That's not real news. That's their bullshit. Let's actually get to... I gotta really speak with my newsroom about this nonsense that they keep bringing up. This is absolutely ridiculous bullshit. Let's continue on to the real news. Okay? Excuse me. So... Let's continue. So, months ago, we were talking about this, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about a particular story. Some of you are going to get upset, some of you won't, all right? But it's a hotbed of contention in the community of video games, but it is time to talk about Final Fantasy 16, okay? There's a reason I'm bringing it up today, but please bear with me, okay? When Final Fantasy 16 released back in, what was it, June? Was it June or July? I think it was June, right? Late June. There was a hotbed of contention because people were like, whoa, this game is not adhering to all of the tropes that Final Fantasy usually adheres to. It broke the mold when it came to the style of combat for the game, which was more action-based rather than any kind of turn-based combat. Although it maintained a lot of the creatures and stuff from the Final Fantasy universe, the lore and everything was completely shattered, and the game had a more adult-oriented writing style with gore and sex and all kinds of stuff, swearing for the first time in a Final Fantasy game. Correct? So, Final Fantasy 16 comes out to 3 million sales. They basically said that in the first month, 3 million copies sold, you know, based on pre-orders and strong initial sales and all of that. All right? And so, based on that, everyone thinks, oh, the game's doing really well. What's really weird about this was, within the first week or two of the game being out, all of a sudden, all of these game content creators are praising the game. Oh, this is the best Final Fantasy ever. Oh, I love it. It's my favorite one and all of this, right? And everyone's talking about, oh my God, it's so good. 2 weeks. And within 2 weeks of the game being out, all of the hoopla for the game died out completely. Content creators stopped talking about the game as if it never existed, and the whole game just went, and everyone's like, what happened, right? Now, people who continued to play the game, all right, seemed to like it, but a lot of other people kind of fell off and said, oh, we're not talking about it anymore, right? I'm one of the few people who hung in there, and I played the entire game from start to finish. It took a while. It was not a short game, right? I want to argue it was around a 40 or more hour playthrough. So we got through it. And you know my thoughts about the game by the end of it. It wasn't a horrible game, but man, they veered so far from the formula of what Final Fantasy is. You know, it's like they purposefully went out of their way to say, call it Final Fantasy, but make it nothing like any previous Final Fantasy, right? And I even, in the early hours of the game, I defended it. I said, look at the track record of Final Fantasy. Yes, in the 1990s, it started off as a turn-based RPG. If you look at Final Fantasy 1 through like 7, 8, they're very similar. Then in games like 9, 10, they started to veer from that and change the formula up. 11 was an MMO. 12 was a hybrid that played like an MMO but was a single-player game. 13 took turn-based elements but combined it with a whole new system that made it feel different. 14 again was an MMO. 15 was another completely different formula. Now it's completely open world, roaming around with a party the entire game. All these different aspects added to it. So my argument early on with Final Fantasy 16 was, if you're going to hate on Final Fantasy 16, you got to understand that Final Fantasy has been different over the years already. It's not like this is the first game that veered from that formula. This game has always veered from the formula for like the last 15, 20 years. It keeps trying to change itself and reinvent itself, right? But by the end of the game, I had to agree with a lot of the people who criticized the game. The game veered too far. It's one thing to say we're going to do some things differently. It's another thing to say, here's all the tried and true things people know about Final Fantasy that work. Throw them away. We don't need them. We're doing our own thing, and too bad if you don't like it, because this is where we're going with the direction of the franchise. It was stupid, because if you have things that work, and I'm not saying, hey, totally keep every single thing, but at least keep some commonalities of the things people are expecting from your franchise. What if Street Fighter 7 came out and Street Fighter 7 decided it was a survival horror game? Right? People were like, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Street Fighter? Because you're fighting for your life in the streets from hordes of vampires. That's Street Fighter 7. What? No. That's Street Fighter's supposed to be a 2D fighting game. Is that? No, we're doing it different this time. Oh, okay. But we're calling it Street Fighter 7. Right? Oh. I mean, that's essentially what Final Fantasy 16 is. They threw away all the things that made Final Fantasy good and made it a new game. Now, some people really like that new game they came up with. But admittedly, I can understand why a lot of people got upset and irked by it and said, no, this is not what we want from a game called Final Fantasy. And I actually made the comparison, okay, during my playthrough. Do you guys remember the movie back from the early 2000s, Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within? Okay? So this movie was one of the early full CGI movies at a time when not a lot of movies were going full CGI. And the fact that it was a video game movie being called Final Fantasy, a lot of people were interested in it and wanted to see it, especially people who were hardcore fans of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy was at the height of its popularity in the 90s and early 2000s. People were loving it. So to have a movie of Final Fantasy, oh, let's see it. It's going to blow us away. And here's what happened, okay? A ton of people went to the movies to see Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. I was one of them. And guess how much of that movie had to do with Final Fantasy? Probably about 2%. The main plot was about how the planet was being destroyed, and there was some kind of a power source that was crystallizing everything, essentially killing it. And it was very reminiscent of, say, the plotline of Final Fantasy VII, where, you know, you're using the Mako energy or Mako energy and you're destroying the planet and stuff like that. It was very similar to that. But there were no elements that were similar to Final Fantasy. There were no crystals. There were no Moogles. There were no creatures. It was a sci-fi movie, essentially. Okay? So, what did it have to do with Final Fantasy? Nothing. Guess how it performed? Horribly. It tanked. Because via word of mouth, people found out this has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. It's just a name thing. They name dropped Final Fantasy to try to sell copies. It's bullshit. So, it did terribly. And basically, after that, Square Enix never bothered again. I mean, I think they've made various movies over the years, but they were always tie-ins with the video games. They didn't bother trying to make their own standalone thing ever again because the movie flopped so hard. Okay? So that's kind of the same feeling I have about Final Fantasy 16. They really wanted to try something and call it Final Fantasy, but not have it be Final Fantasy. It didn't work. You know, initially you had your shills. Within the first 2 weeks of the game being out, everyone kissing the game's butt. But they disappeared after 2 weeks when the money dried out. And after that, all the hype for Final Fantasy 16 fizzled. You know what's funny? Usually when a new Final Fantasy game comes out, you've got tons of memes. You've got tons of things that resonate. You've got people talking about epic fights. You got people talking about the music. No one right now is talking about Final Fantasy 16 whatsoever. It's as if the game never existed. I played the whole game from start to finish. I have absolutely no remembrance of anything notable. I don't even have a song stuck in my head. And that never happened. Usually when I play Final Fantasy 15, the theme song of combat is stuck in my head, or a big epic boss fight. Like when I think Final Fantasy 15, I think about the optional dungeon that has all those cool puzzles in it and some super enemies like the ginormous Adamantoise tortoise. Like that, I remember that because those are the epic parts of the playthrough. When I think Final Fantasy 13, I think about being in the open world for the first time and you hear that epic vocal music. Do 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 do. Memories of life. I hear that. I still remember that. That was resonated with me, and I'll remember that forever. Like, that was a really cool part of the game. I remember it. I don't remember diddly dick about Final Fantasy 16. The game was not memorable in any fucking thing whatsoever. It tried too hard to copy what other people had done, and it's failed because of that, in my opinion. Okay? So now, why am I bringing all of this up? Okay? Well, the funny part about it is, since the game released, and we heard initially 3 million sales, there has not been a single reported piece of data anywhere on the sales of Final Fantasy 16. Square Enix has not said a word. They have the numbers, but they're refusing to talk about them. Okay? Last month, in an interview, one of the high-ups at Square Enix was asked directly, did Final Fantasy 16 perform to your expectations? And the outright answer they gave, no. They thought the game was going to sell much better. They feel that it underperformed. Now, that's all they said. But if you take a look at a kind of apples-to-apples comparison, Final Fantasy 15, within within 10 days of release, sold 3.5 million copies. So in a comparable time frame, Final Fantasy 15 sold more than Final Fantasy 16. And then after that, it sold more and more, and then there were DLCs that sold more. We don't know anything. They won't even tell us how Final Fantasy 16 is doing. As if, you know, it never existed. They don't want us to know the truth. Okay? In addition, the sales reports, essentially, not the sales reports, but the overall profit reports, Square Enix had an insanely low-performing quarter. Now, you might argue, could it really have been because of the one game? No. I don't think that any particular company the size of Square Enix is really saying one game is make or break. At the same time, this really was their flagship title. When you hear Square Enix, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Final Fantasy. Now, yes, they've had other franchises over the years that have been sellers for them, but Final Fantasy is the big one that they always rely on. And the fact that this game came out like this, right? And essentially had big pre-order sales, and then after the shilling ended from content creators, no one's talking about it. That means something. Now, why am I bringing this up today? Because, ladies and gentlemen, as of today, the game has not even been out for 3 months. Not even a quarter of the year has the game been out yet. Ladies and gentlemen, today the game went on sale for a third off. So right now, if you've been holding out to buy Final Fantasy 16 and you want to buy it, it's about $25 to $30. I think it's like, originally it was $79.99. Now I think it's like $50. I want to say it's $55.99 or something like that. Check it out. On Amazon, it's on sale. Everywhere it's going on sale. That's horrible. Okay? What that means is that this game sold so poorly within its first few months, they're desperate. And they're hoping by doing a price slash this early, people will buy the game before all the new fall gaming season games come out. Do you want to know the truth? I don't think it's going to work. I don't. I think the word of mouth was so bad about this game that it wasn't Final Fantasy that anyone who is interested as a holdout is going to skip it and they're going to buy other games this fall instead. You know, if they maybe did a 50% price hike, or a price slash, I should say, maybe then, but only a 30%, cutting $20 off the price, I don't think is going to be enough to save this game. But the fact that it's happened not even 3 months into the life cycle of the game, of a lengthy JRPG too. It's not like, oh, this is a game that's a multiplayer game and you play it for a week, you've seen everything. This is a lengthy game. You know, I played it for 40 hours and got through the story. Potentially, if you do the side content, this could be like a 100-hour game. And within 3 months, they're already cutting the price in a huge way. That's bad. So, man, let me tell you guys something. How the mighty fall. And it's sad because some people revel in it. Oh my God, it's so good to see a game that used to be at the top finally at the bottom. I hate that. I don't like that at all. You know, I want games to succeed that deserve it. Final Fantasy is a franchise that was part of my childhood. It was the first RPG that I was ever introduced to in a major way and play. You know, I saw my cousin playing Dragon Quest, but then eventually Final Fantasy II was the first RPG I ever owned and played for myself. So to see basically this franchise go from the top of the RPG ladder to essentially the bottom like it has is sad. Who in the holy hell thought it was a good idea to abandon everything that people like about Final Fantasy, right? Like, on what planet do you think this is a good idea? By the way, did you not just see you resold all the classic Final Fantasies in the Pixel Remaster collection, and it did well? It sold well on PC to the point where they weren't originally going to port it to consoles, and it sold so well on Steam that then they ported it to consoles, and it's selling well on consoles. If those games are selling well, why are you not making more games like that? Why are you going in a completely different direction and sinking insane amounts of money and time investment into something no one has asked you for? Who was asking for Final Fantasy that plays like Devil May Cry, but is a button mash fest? Like, this is a classic case of a game company that has done well for so long that they kind of feel like they can do no wrong. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was literally sold unfinished. The game was completely a disjointed mess. The story didn't make sense because of time skips and all kinds of crap. And it was just dumb the way they set up the game. There was no reason for it to be like that. It didn't finish production and they just sold it anyway, right? But they could do no wrong. Now they pump out an entire game that no one wants, but they could do no wrong. No, they've done wrong. The sales are failing. It's time to stop the nonsense and stop believing that everything you do is right and it's the customer. Did you know that they started blaming like the customer base? I'm serious. Oh, the reason that the game isn't doing so well is probably because of the online hate and the viral negativity, and it's really toxic these days. Why do you think that exists? Because your game is not good. If your game was good, then it wouldn't happen. Baldur's Gate 3 didn't suffer from this. Why did you? Right? I mean, Diablo 4 admittedly had a lot of flaws. It still has a lot of flaws, but it's not virally hated on. Why your game? Probably because you abandoned the people who were supporting you to begin with. You took this fan base of people who love your franchise and you said, screw all you, we're going to make a different kind of game. Well, great, you're going to get a new fan base over here who likes a different kind of game, and you're also going to get a lot of angry, upset people over here who supported you for the last 15 games and want more of what you're good at making, right? This is the equivalent of what just happened with BioWare making Anthem. BioWare is good at making these RPGs with epic stories, good parties, exploration, all this. That's what they're good at. Then they were told, make a fucking looter shooter game. And they're like, but we don't want to make a looter shooter game. We don't want to make Destiny. We don't want to make Borderlands. We just want to make another good RPG. And they were told, make a looter shooter. So they did, and it flopped, and it failed, and now they're back to making what they're good at. Why did they think that this was going to work? I don't know. But it's just hilarious to me. We're almost 3 months in to the launch of this game, and we still don't have sales numbers besides 3 million sold at launch. That's it. They won't even say a word because they probably know it's embarrassing. I would almost bet if you compare Final Fantasy 15 to 16, 15 was here and 16 is like way down here at this point. You know, 3 months in. So that's why they don't want to say it. They're really embarrassed by it. It's pretty sad. It's sad to see a game company that was known for being the tippity top of a genre to now become obscure. Kind of like, this is what happened with Street Fighter for the longest time. You know, Street Fighter, very prominent, went away in the 2000s, came back with Street Fighter 4, then completely died out during a 7-year period of Street Fighter 5. Now they're back to prominence again. Can they stay there? I hope they can. Because, man, I don't want to see them die out again. I want to see them stay at the top of their game, you know? And by the way, I don't believe that, I really don't believe that there's any credibility to people who are like these naysayers and saying, well, that's it for Square Enix. I don't believe that. I believe that any of these companies can always find a way to come back. I do. And I think that if they get back on in their way and back into what they're good at doing, that they could definitely pump out a new Final Fantasy game in the future that's in line with all the great ones they've already made that will do well. But they need to go back. What they really need to do, it's called market research. All they need to do is go out there with focus groups. And they need to say, what is it you're looking for in the next Final Fantasy game? What did you like and not like about Final Fantasy 15, 16. We want your feedback. It seems like they didn't bother doing anything like that. They just wanted to make the game they wanted to make, and now they realize you can't just make whatever you want. You got to do what the customers are going to buy and enjoy, right? Listen, I would love to sit here and just play JRPGs all day. I would love to play Lost Odyssey, Suikoden 1 and 2, Wild Arms. I'd like to go and play ones that I miss. Like, for example, a lot of people say, will you go play, what's the one that I missed that they just had a sequel of that I completely missed? I can't remember. The graphics kind of look like Final Fantasy 3 or 6. Man, I can't remember what it's called. But there's 2 of those that I never played. And people are like, we ever play those? I'd love to try play those. I have to go back and play. I could sit here, and I'm serious about this. Octopath Traveler. Thank you, Sith Alchemist. Yes, Octopath Traveler. I'm the kind of guy, I could sit here, and I could play JRPGs all day long. All right? And I would love it. And you would hate it. There's an audience for JRPGs. But that's not my main audience. You understand? I've got to be rooted in reality and understand this is work, and I have to do things that I don't necessarily love all the time because people want variety. I have to make my customers feel satisfied and entertained, or else I will not continue to be successful. It's like Square Enix forgot that. Well, we want to just make this action-based game. Good for you. No one wants that. So fuck around and make it for yourself and then put out a good RPG that people like. We don't want you to make this crap. No one asked you for it, right? But that's the problem. Again, they get so full of themselves that they don't feel like they need to appease their customers anymore. Yes, you do. Yes, you absolutely have to. Where was your market research to find out what people wanted from your studio? You didn't do any. You just made a game no one asked for, and that's why it flopped. So they can come back. They don't need to slash prices on Final Fantasy 16. They just need to go back to making good games. I hope they do. I hope that the next Final Fantasy game they make is more in line with what people have loved all these years, and they don't just go off into the sunset doing random shit. Okay? Okay. All right. That's the Gaming News segment for today. Hopefully things get better for them. I really do. I really hope that they do. Okay. Did Kat like Final Fantasy 16? Well, she didn't play it. She watched me play it, and at first, just like all of us, in the early hours of the game, she was intrigued by the plot. She thought it would be good. By the time I got about, a third into the game, she hated it. She's like, it's Game of Thrones, with really bad combat. And I was like, I agree. I really agree with you. Like, there's nothing to this game. Even if you try to get into the characters or whatever, it's just not good writing. It's insanely boring dialogue. Too much broken up by boring menial shit. The pacing's terrible. The combat is terrible. Like, the game is a fail on many levels. So she stopped watching. She was actually watching me play it for, like, the first third to half, and then she just dropped it and never watched it again because she hated it. I tend to agree with her. With all her opinions was kind of correct from my perspective as well. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got for today. All right? So that's it. I'm out of here. Just kidding. All right, we got some stuff to do. We got to shout out some stuff because you guys have been generous in supporting the content this morning. So allow me to do shout outs, react to your questions like this. I'll react to every question just like this. I'll be nice and low voiced and talk nicely into the microphone. You would love that, wouldn't you? Oh, I know you would. Too bad. I'm not doing that. Okay, let's do some shout outs. So we start off today with several gifted memberships from Tractor D. Tractor D, thank you for your support of the channel this morning. Tractor D gifted 3 different memberships. One went to, I don't know. The next went to Jade Van Zyl. And the next went to Cameras Are Awesome. The first one I can't say because it didn't load. So it's not saying who it went to. So congrats to whoever got those gifted memberships. And if you got one, be sure to thank Tractor D for the gifted memberships. Now, I'm just curious. Are we actually at 603 members? Because sometimes we do have expiring memberships. I would like to confirm that. before we start freaking out and saying yes, because I would like to talk about how we're doing right now on the channel, but let's take a quick look. Yes, according to YouTube right now, we are currently at 603 members. So here's the deal. All right. This is the first time in months that we had above 600 members. It's been a while because the last few months, things have kind of fluctuated over the summer. Actually, back in the spring, when there was a lot of new releases, we were up at 800. We had over 800 members, but then it kind of dipped, and we haven't really gotten back to that level. So it's good to see memberships up as high as they are, especially because now, excuse me, we're heading into the busiest gaming time of the year, right? And to have, you know, this many members and have people enjoying the emotes and all the benefits of the membership is a great thing. Keep in mind, in early October, everyone who's a member is going to be able to nominate games for the upcoming Halloween event. So that's going to be a huge benefit, right? So that's pretty cool. What was the all-time high member count? Asked BattleDuck. I want to say around 1,300. I could be wrong. I want to say around 1,300. It might have been like 1,400, but I think it was 1,300. And it was a time when there was like 2 people who came in and gifted hundreds of memberships, like giant membership bombs all at once. And was it was either last fall or like 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly when it was. But that's why we have so many emotes. If you look at the channel, you're like, how could a channel with only like 500-600 members have like 20-some emotes? That's a lot of emotes for a channel of that size, because the emotes don't go away once you unlock them. And we had so many members at one point that we had unlocked all of these emotes, right? So that's what it was. Tractor D just gifted 5 more memberships. Congratulations to Magura-san, Greg, Plumber Who Fixes Leaks, Fan of Lovecraft, and Comet Frenzy. Congratulations to all of you on getting those gifted memberships. Please be sure to thank Tractor D for these gifted memberships. There you go. There you go. Who knew that just reversing the order of words in detractor could actually also reverse the attitude, right? Not a detractor, it's a supporter. There you go. Oh, thank you. Fan of Lovecraft is here today to help moderate today. That would help a lot. Now, Fan of Lovecraft, remember, we're going to jump over to the React channel in a little bit. So if you can help me over there, that I actually would really appreciate that, because when I do the React show, that's where we get a lot of trolling. So that would help a lot if you could help me with the moderation over there today. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. What's up, Jade? Good to see you. Thanks for saying hi. Okay. Continuing on. Mr. Game Master, our first super chatter of the day, did a $5 super chat. He says, I'm playing Shadow of War. It's amazing by all means. Yes, Act 4 is a grindy mess after the Gollum game. I want a new good Lord of the Rings game. You know, it's funny. I didn't bring this up, but one of the higher-ups, at the company that owns the rights to things such as Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and I think it was Star Wars. No, not Star Wars. It was Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and a third franchise. They basically came out and said, yeah, we feel like our franchises are being underutilized. And it's stupid because, oh, it's DC. It was DC. I think what it is Warner Brothers. They're saying DC, or Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings are underutilized and could be getting used better. And they're just not. Well, yeah, did you see the Gollum game? First Lord of the Rings game that really came out in years and years, and it's a piece of shit. What are you doing with your franchise? Right, I mean, you are kind of misappropriating its use, I feel. It could definitely have better stuff coming out, right? So, we'll see what happens, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's been a long time since they really put any effort into anything Lord of the Rings in gaming. It would be nice to have a good one. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Game Master. Let's take a look at some tips. We have our first tip of the day here. Let's take a look. Someone says, which is it, becoming a member on a React channel or tipping during React streams? And either one would be fine. If you're talking about supporting my React content, literally either one of those things would work. You know, if you're interested in nominating clips for the React show, then become a member over on the React channel. If you don't care about that, but you like the React content, then tip. Or either way, it doesn't matter. I'm not ordering you or to do anything. You do whatever you want. But either way would support the streams. Okay? Cool. I received another $1 tip. Oh, it's just a troll, so I can tell them to kiss my ass. Very nice. I got a $2 tip here. Let's see here. Let's see. An anonymous tipper says, Morning Phil, there's a 90% off sale in the Nintendo store. I want to ask you if you could discuss it on the show and ask viewers to recommend games. Titles like Hotline Miami bundles, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Cult of the Lamb, Castlevania bundles, Mortal Shell, tens of others going on sale for the next few hours only. Ask chat, what would you like to see? Please don't miss out. Apparently there's a big sale on Nintendo. I don't know. Someone had mentioned that there was going to be a sale on Nintendo yesterday, but I didn't really get the details of it. So I don't really know the ins and outs of what he's talking about, right? I guess what it is there's someone who likes to see me play stuff on Switch or something. I mean, literally every game they just mentioned is a game that's on everything, like it's on Steam or everything else too, right? Like that's not even like exclusive, what they just mentioned. I think it's just, it's cheaper on Nintendo right now. So I guess that's a PSA for you guys, and if you guys have any recommendations of games that are really big on sale and you want to see me maybe play in the future. Okay, anyway. This troll is so smart, they continuously tip me just to say things I never read. It's amazing. Okay. So, I received a $5 anonymous tip. They said, I'll be back later tonight when you play Starfield. You know, I hope there's not a ton of TikToks today on the React show. Have a great day. Stay chill. I agree with you. Like I said, the last couple of weeks, when there's too much of the same thing, it gets boring. And I will admit, for some reason, the last couple of weeks, people just keep nominating TikToks. Like, enough of the fucking TikToks. You take the fucking TikTok clock and shove it up your ass. No one cares about the fucking TikToks. Right? Enough is enough. So I agree with you there. Hopefully there aren't a lot today. I guess we'll see. Thank you for the $5 tip. I'll see you tonight for Starfield. Sounds good. Okay. Let's see here. I received... Oh, my leg itches. I just received... a bunch more gifted memberships. So, Tractor D gifted a membership and it went to RJ, and then gifted another membership and it went to Eddie82. So, congratulations to RJ and to Eddie82 on those gifted memberships. So, pretty much today, you know, we've hit the goal that we had set. Thank you for that. I'm just adding an arbitrary 10 more since we haven't even started with gameplay on this channel yet. You know, perhaps tonight we'll see if there's more on the Starfield stream. But thank you, Tractor D. Thank you for all these gifted memberships and helping out the channel this morning. That's much appreciated. Derek did a shout out here for his gifted membership. 13 months in a row. He said, happy Sunday, happy weekend. Thank you, Derek. Okay. Excuse me. Drees87Gaming says, I just found your channel through your new Chrono Trigger playthrough. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Welcome and thank you. What a nice thing to say. I hope you're enjoying that playthrough. Nearing the end, but an awesome playthrough. I really had a great time with it. I think I misclicked. I did misclick. Here we go. Okay. I was on the wrong page here. Okay. All right, so we still have a little bit of extra time. If any of you have anything you'd like to talk about, you could tag me in the chat. We'll do a little bit of Q&A before we get into the React show today. So let me know what you want to talk about. Yes, my ruin, I'm aware of the Gargoyles remastered on October 19th. We already talked about it. Don't think I'm playing it in October, but might play it in the future. Fan of Lowcraft says, is it Dark Side Phil or Dark the Devil? I'm pretty sure It's Dark Side Phil. But some people tend to say whatever they want, right? Dark the Devil. Oh, Derek, I have not watched MasterChef in ages. But he says there was a new season where they brought back previous winners to compete against each other. That's interesting. Are there any looter shooters I want to play or replay? Looter shooters are not my forte. Looter shooters are the kind of game that you play with a bunch of friends. And it really is that camaraderie or that online, you know, co-op atmosphere with the talking and interacting with each other that makes it feel like a great social experience. I don't think that looter shooters really do well by themselves. Like, for example, I played Borderlands by itself when it came out, solo. And I didn't think it was that good. But then I played Borderlands 2 co-op. I thought it was a little better, you see? Excuse me. I felt that one coming. Sorry about that. No, I'm not doing the Pokemon DLC. No, I'm not. No, I have not seen Space Marine 2 gameplay. I think we saw a trailer of it a few months ago, correct? I think we did on the React show. And it looked alright. You know, I'm not into Warhammer, so I don't think I'm going to like it that much, but it could be a good game. I don't know. What shows have I been watching on the streams these days? So let's see. My wife and I have been watching, we were watching Worst Cooks in America for a while. We stopped watching that now. We were watching that food truck show. We stopped watching that now. We started watching Chopped. A little bit of that show, Chopped. We still watch House Hunters from time to time. And we just started watching someone's playthrough of Starfield. So there you go. What's up, Jade? Jasper is perfectly fine. Thanks for asking. Okay, Derek, I see your message and I acknowledge it. Gotcha. Well, I play Starship Troopers. There's a Starship Troopers video game coming out. A little late for that, don't you think? Many decades too late for that game, in my opinion. No, I've never ridden in a wagon. Yes, there were still videos I had to eliminate from this week's React show. First of all, people are still nominating videos that are flagged for adults. I keep telling you, if it's considered for mature audiences only, I can't watch those videos. They will not work. The whole stream will get shut down. So I can't watch them. So there was a good handful of those. Oddly enough, one person had a video, and when I went to check it out, it said the video didn't exist. So either it was the wrong link or the person had deleted the video before I had a chance to even review what it was. You know, there's a few things here and there that I feel like just aren't appropriate or just so dumb that I'm not going to watch. If it's something that's the same thing we've seen 27 times, I will eliminate it. Now, not Ultra members. Ultra members are guaranteed to be watched, but standard member submissions, dude, if we just watch the same topic 4 weeks in a row, we're not watching it a 5th week in a row. I will eliminate your nomination. It's just stupid. We're not watching the same junk, okay? It's about a variety clip show. It's not about the same clips every week. Some people just sadly don't know that, and they just keep submitting the same kind of junk. I'm not going to watch it. Geez, what else? I'm trying to think. Oh, sometimes people submit things we already watched. Obviously, I eliminate those, and that's been happening a lot recently. That I go and like, we already watched this like 2-3 weeks ago. Why did they submit it again? I don't know, so I eliminate it, you know. Broseph says, if you're logged into your YouTube account and you're over 18, you don't know it's for adults. Wrong. I'm logged into my YouTube account right now for DSP Reacts. That's the channel that I watch the videos on, and it tells me every time when a video is for adults, and it says, are you sure you want to watch this video? You have to click I acknowledge, and then it plays the video. I have no idea what you're talking about, Broseph. That's incorrect. No, my throat's not okay. My post-nasal drip is crazy bad today, and I took an allergy pill live during this pre-stream to try to help it. It's really annoying today. It's bothering me bad. My whole throat's swollen and keeps dripping into it. It's disgusting. Fan of Lovecraft, what was your question? I missed it. Do I think a new Lion King prequel about Mufasa will be any good? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I don't even know what Disney's doing these days. I don't watch Disney stuff that often anymore. So I don't know. You know, all those spin-offs and prequels from back in the day were god-awful. They really were. All those straight-to-video, you know, spin-off stories were pretty bad. So I don't know if they've improved over the years or not. Mozzarella says I had pretty bad food poisoning this week. Do you remember the worst case you ever got? The worst case of food poisoning I ever got? Ugh. I don't think I ever had severe food poisoning. I've had times where I ate something and I felt sick and I got, you know, I shat my brains out or vomited, but it wasn't like, oh my God, it's so bad I went to the hospital. So I don't really think that I've had bad enough food poisoning for it to resonate in me to remember. I really don't. I don't remember. I know once I went to a buffet and I actually got sick from the buffet. Like I went home and then I was like all night vomiting from what I ate at the buffet. What was it? I don't know. But that was like over a decade ago, so I don't remember. No, I haven't seen any of the newer live action Disney movies. I haven't had Disney Plus in years, so. How good was I at DDR? Okay. I wasn't amazing, but I wasn't horrible. I was decent. I would play the games at like the highest ranking, or the songs at the highest ranking, but only certain ones that I enjoyed the music more. What's the next movie review on DSP Reacts? Like I said, in the month of October, I'm planning on doing one horror movie review a week. So probably in October, there'll be 4 horror movie reviews. I'm just not sure what they'll be yet. I'd like your feedback on that. But I'm not really planning on doing anything this month. No, I don't miss going to bars and having beers with friends because it never was a big thing for me. In reality, it really never was a big thing for me at all. If I was going to drink, I would usually buy some beers or liquor, and we'd actually go over someone's house and drink there. When I was younger, we would go on my friend's father's boat and actually have a night where we'd drink on the boat and just kind of sleep there and pass out. And then as I got older, it would just be like going over someone's place, crash, and playing some video games with some drinks and crashing. I never really would go to a bar. Bars are so expensive for no reason. Really. Like, I had coworkers that love going to bars. It's like, dude, you're blowing all your money. You're spending like $5, $6 a beer, right? Or even more of that for mixed drinks that aren't even as good as what you can make yourself at home for much cheaper. For what? For a loud-ass atmosphere? For noise? For fucking sports on a TV that you can watch at home? I just never understood it. I never really went to bars with my friends. We always just kind of hung out at each other's places. Like I said, I was in the Street Fighter, so we would play Street Fighter and drink and stuff like that, you know? Hello, Juan. Yes, I liked the Scary Movies franchise when it first came out. I thought it was funny. Haven't seen them since like the first 2, but I thought that they were funny. Oh, excuse me. You gotta pre-game. If you're pre-gaming to go to the bar, I think you've proven the point that the bar is too expensive and you shouldn't go. Right? Why are you drinking before you get to the bar? What on earth? Would I ever consider playing Kingdom Hearts again? Man. You know, Kingdom Hearts 3 just really was bad. It was an atrociously bad game. It was one of the easiest, most boring games I've ever played. There really just was not much to say about it good. It was really badly done. I don't know how they made such a bad game, quite frankly. 1 and 2 have their own charm. You know, they have challenging parts. It's interesting to see the Disney characters interacting with kind of RPG elements. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone would even want me to go back to play them. They're just, in my opinion, I don't think that there's a reason to. You know? What's up, Abdullah? Good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just my honest reaction. Someone actually just asked in the chat, you ready for this? Are you going to upgrade from your mini PC to a gaming one anytime soon? So let me get this straight. I was just gifted a mini PC a little over a month ago. So far, the only thing we've done with it is play Chrono Trigger. We're now heading into the busy gaming season. Probably I won't be able to do anything with it, but we've been talking about maybe Fightcade and other playthroughs on there. Literally just got it. You'll want me to ditch it and buy a gaming PC. Any plans to play older RPGs on it? I don't know. That's up to you guys. Right now, no. Once Chrono Trigger is done, essentially we're going to be so busy with all the new games coming out the next 2-3 months, it probably won't even be till, like, I guarantee you, till like December where it's even a thought. But I obviously would love to play retro Street Fighter on there. I would love to get Fightcade set up and play Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Super Turbo, maybe CVS 2, maybe the old Versus games like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, stuff like that. I would absolutely love to play all those games on there. And I think those would be fun retro fighting game streams that you guys would probably enjoy, right? So all that, I'm down for in the future once we get that going. Outside of that, whatever, I don't know. I don't even know what it's capable of. I don't know what games are out there you guys want. I have no idea. But, you know, all those would, I mean, things would be now a possibility for sure, right? There you go. Would I consider Heretic or Hexen? Yes. I talked about that. I actually played Hexen back in the day. I loved it. I thought Hexen was a superb first-person shooter. Took the elements of games like Wolfenstein and Doom and made a game where you're doing magic. You're throwing magic spells and things like that. It was really cool. Yes, I know. We still haven't figured out what to do with the original Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire. We haven't done anything with that yet. Final Fantasy 13. We were talking about figuring it out over the summer. Somehow we forgot, right? Like, I was down for over the summer figuring out what we were going to do. Maybe rebranding one of my old channels and uploading it, and we forgot. Totally forgot about it, man. I can't believe it, but we did. I think we should have. I think what we should have done is like KO Gaming, rebrand KO Gaming to something new, like a classics channel, and upload it as Lost Media, right? But I think we'll get to it eventually. We have to get to it eventually at some point, right? Oh, let's see here. Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix just hit me $3. Says, thank you for being the experiment to some of these games like Final Fantasy 16. They should have gave it a subtitle instead. Looks fun and stylish, but I'm afraid it'll get bored of it quickly. Oh, you will. If you're like me, you'll get very bored of it quickly. Trust me. Trust me on this. Okay. Excuse me. Roadblocks, I'm well aware of that. He says, by the way, YouTube will heavily favor new channels in the algorithm. I know that. At the same time, to make a new channel and try to get it through a process where it can be approved for partnership and everything. Like, for example, right now, KO Gaming is just sitting there stagnant. I haven't used it in years, and it's under the partner program. So right now, anything I upload to that channel, I can monetize immediately. So, makes more sense to put the stuff there, and immediately you can have ads and everything on it, as opposed to having to jump through hoops on another channel trying to get it approved for partnership and taking months and whatever. It would just not be worth it. Adam just did a super chat, and he said, I would love to watch the old Final Fantasy 13 playthrough. Yeah, I mean, it was super old. I mean, at this point, you're talking, what was that? 2010, 2011? So it's 12, 13 years old. It's old, right? It's pretty old. It's a remnant of my old content, and the fact that the original playthrough is gone. It's nowhere right now. You know, I understand why some people would want to go back and watch it. You know, I haven't seen it in ages. I don't even remember much about it. Swaganito says, yes, we need a DSP Archives channel. I want to see Final Fantasy 13. I never saw it. See, Roadblocks, here's the deal. Me uploading my old content is not going to get popular on YouTube. You have to understand this. Just being honest. If I were to branch out and make a new type of channel that was different kinds of content, that was me starting fresh with something, a new idea or something, that has potential to take off. Me uploading 14-year-old gameplay videos is not going to take off on YouTube. That kind of format, number one, doesn't even excel anymore. The visuals are terrible. The audio is terrible. No one cares about a legacy playthrough besides fans, hardcore fans. The hardcore fans are going to watch it no matter where I upload it. It's not going to hit the YouTube algorithm because I put it on a new channel and get virally popular. That will never happen again. They already changed the algorithms to prevent that. You understand? These videos are short, 10 minutes long. You know, it'll never be popular. You understand? So that doesn't matter to me. It doesn't, you know. But if I was talking about making new content, then I would consider making a new channel. Seriously, if we were to, oh, Phil's doing a brand new thing, then maybe I would consider, let's make a new channel and let's give it a shot. So. Battledog, it would never take off. People with their pipe dreams. What if you did upload and it took off for a weird reason? Why would it take off? No one watches that format of content anymore. You understand that? No one does. No one's sitting around watching 10-minute Let's Play videos. It doesn't exist. No one even makes them. You know, it's a forgotten format from a time when you couldn't even upload longer than 10-minute videos. Oh, yeah? Fan of Lovecraft says, I remember you played LA Noire. There was a PSN shutdown. You were pissed because you couldn't get any of the DLC. Oh, was there like pre-order DLC or collector's edition DLC and I couldn't get it because PSN was down? That's interesting. I didn't remember that. Derek, I don't think about my shirts. He's been asking. He asks, are there any old shirts you have that you love wearing? Is Resident Evil one of them? I really don't think about my shirts. I'll be honest, I don't. Every day I think, okay, what's a shirt I didn't wear in a long time or I didn't just wear last week? Is there a shirt that's pertinent to what I'm playing today? No? All right, just wear any shirt then. And I just grab it and I throw it on. I don't really think so much about my shirts. I just don't. But yeah, in particular, this is a shirt that I've had for a long time. Originally, I had this way back in the day and I lost it and I bought another one that's exactly the same shirt. But I don't know how old this particular one is. I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't think about it. I'm not a big clothes guy. I never was, you know, like it's just not a big deal to me. Oh yeah, that's right. They got hacked really bad in 2011. Did I talk about it? I did like a story on it, a parody story on it, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Imagine Phil wearing Balenciaga, says Casanova. I know. Yes, I wear all high-end designer clothes only. Only. No, you know, must be tippity top of the crop. King B. Cruel says, what do we have to do to get you to upload Final Fantasy 13 playthrough? Give me a day where I don't have to stream. Seriously. Give me a day where I don't have to stream because, you know, it's not a concern. And then I could sit here and I could upload all day. I could click the videos, name the videos, you know, title them all. I just don't have time to do it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. Every day, I'm here 6 days a week, full-time streaming for you guys, and I have to do that to make ends meet. And then the one day I'm off, I'm busy doing personal stuff the whole day. I don't have days to sit and upload legacy content, you know? I'll promise you this, one day it'll happen. One day, we'll get it done. You know what's funny? I mean, last summer, remember, one of the major projects we did is we cleaned out my closet, correct? I remember we found all the gaming and everything and all the gameplay, all the collectibles and stuff in there, or not collectibles, all the games, the legacy games. I've done nothing with it. It's been a year. They just sat in the closet. They're just sitting there in a pile. I have time to do anything. When did I have time to go to a game store in Seattle and haggle with someone about selling them? And like I said, I can't sell any shit online. It's just not possible because trolls would ruin it. So I'm stuck with a bunch of this shit. It'll just be here forever. You know what I mean? Unless somehow I don't have to work 6 days a week full time, I will never be able to do anything with any of this stuff. You know? Make an event out of uploading the stuff. How on earth would that happen? You realize that if I upload, I can't stream. If I'm uploading a video and I stream, the stream gets choppy. You can't upload and stream at the same time. It's not possible. Canadian Kirk, I have no idea what you're talking about. He apparently just did some kind of a negative meme about a store called Pink Gorilla Games. I don't even know what that means. All right. Can I re-upload Dante's Inferno? Never finished it. I have the videos. That was some of the lost media we have. Is it the videos I have of Dante's Inferno? I think it's the first 3 worlds. I have them saved, but you know, there's no. I never uploaded them anywhere. There's no full playthrough either. I stopped playing it after I couldn't find anywhere that would take the videos. Anyway, all right, guys, it's time to end the show because we got to get set up for the React show. So thanks to those who chilled and supported. Remember, today I'll reiterate, supporting the React stream is very important. I don't make money on the videos over there. It's these streams and memberships that support that channel and make it viable. Please support today's React stream, whether it's a super chat, a membership, or a tip. Everything helps a lot on a React stream, okay? So let's end this show. Let's head over there, get set up, get it rolling, and 3 hours of reacting, okay? Oh, excuse me. Thank you all for a great podcast. I appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with my allergies because, man, they're bad today. So hopefully they actually get better. I do feel like my throat's already clearing up a little bit from taking the pill. It does actually feel like it's kind of, the swelling is going down and a little bit of the yuckiness is unclogging, which is a good thing, obviously. So thank you very much. I appreciate you all chilling. And I look forward to talking about what happened today tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right? Peace out, my friends. Bye-bye.